Advice is never simple. Why look before you leap? If he who hesitates is lost. Live within your means is sage advice. But then, why are we encouraged to go big or go home? The value of advice is bound to your unique dreams and circumstances. Context isn't just king, it's the entire kingdom, son.
Welcome back to Elevate Water Polo on 216, brought to you by SuperSport Schools and our generous sponsors, Odin and Momentum. Can you believe it was? It's episode 10. 10 episodes in, we're shooting today live from the Rondebosch Old Boys Heritage Centre. Great to be back with you to a really exciting week we've got coming up. In fact, a very exciting few weeks we've got coming up, was.
Absolutely, Dan. It's great to be back in the studio with you. Looking forward to this section and the next couple of weeks because the IPT build-up is really heating up. And not only that, we obviously have USA coming up as well as the Nordic League. So I'm very excited to speak about that today.
Exactly. So it's 2 weeks out till IPT, 1 week out till USA, which is the universities tournament. And we're heading off to the Nordic League this week. So a really action-packed episode with lots to discuss. But for this segment, we really wanted to focus on potentially one of the unsung heroes of the sport, the Northerns area. Northern Gauteng has been a prolific participant in water polo over the various decades. And I think it's only right that we check in with their teams, how they're tracking for IPT. We're gonna be speaking to a couple of their coaches. I think such a crucial strategic region, Central Gauteng obviously being a real powerhouse, but it's those regions around that, Northerns, Easterns, etc., that I think deserve some attention. What do you think?
100%, thanks. It's like the equivalent of the Borderland section in Western Province. Obviously, they're now merged with Western Province again. But I think there's so many strong players that have come out of Northerns. We look at like Sven van Zyl, we look at Janku Rademeier, just to name a few. Nardis as well originated from that area. So a lot of strong SA national water polo players there, and they deserve some recognition for sure.
Yeah, and so exciting to see some of the younger talents as well. Specifically this year, I think we're going to see a difference in the ladies' side of things. I think the Northerns ladies are really making a lot of efforts. They have a much smaller catchment area in terms of school, but I think this is one to watch. And, you took earlier Chris Jansen van Vieren on the Elevate tour at the under-16 level, and I know he's got a very strong age group in under-16. So, there's so much good coming from that area.
Exactly, Dunks. Like that Affy's team had such a great performance at St. Stithians tournament. They beat some very strong teams, caused some upsets, beat Kersney, which was a huge, huge moment for them. Their program is really coming up. So really exciting water polo, and they're a really young team. So it's a lot to look forward to from that Northern Tigers team.
Absolutely. Really looking forward to chatting to some of their coaches. I think worth acknowledging that there's a much smaller pool of schools to select from. But those schools, I think, are bringing a shift in and really lifting their weight. So look forward to chatting to some of those coaches in the next moments.
Hi, everyone. My name is JC Tribalon, and I'm currently the under-19 boys coach for Northerns. We've really had a good preparation, training multiple times a week. I think we're very fortunate that the schools are in close proximity of each other. We're really excited. We're training hard. We've played the last 2 weekends, and this coming weekend we have played some practice games against our neighboring provinces. We're hoping that we can have a impactful year this year. We've got 4 matrics that are still playing, which is normally quite a bit of a problem here, but we're very excited about that. We've got our last round of practice games this coming weekend, and then it's the final prep, and then we're going there to the tournament, giving it our best shot. Maybe we can cause an upset or two. It's always difficult against the big three, but I'm really confident in the boys. We're working hard. They're working hard. Northerns as a whole, we're very excited. I think we really got some strong age groups coming through. I think the products of our 2 clubs, BWPC and Clydesdale, where I'm involved. Most of those boys are grade 11 now, which is the first age group that came out of the club. Obviously, the club wasn't as developed as it is now, but I think Philip van Emmenes from Clydesdale is doing incredible work there, and then Ferry Lowe from PWPC. NTS as a whole, we got 3 schools: Office, Boys High, and St. Albans, speaking for the boys side, and everyone's really doing hard work. I think we're all in a growth phase. But yeah, let's see what the future holds. I think we privileged, maybe some see it as a disadvantage, which it can be as well, but I think we privileged that because we only got 3 schools, when those players come back returning from IPT, then they're all returning to the same school, or most of them are going to. The numbers aren't as diluted, so we're really excited for next year. Let's see what the future holds. Some of our players are getting recognition in the Elevate teams, or some of them went to the tour to Zim early in the year. So let's see. I know there's some exciting things happening with SuperSport. Let's see if some of our boys can maybe get a nod there, and then we take it from there. So yeah, just in summary, things are going well here in Pretoria. We're working hard, we're growing, and then we take it from there. So thank you for your time.
Hi, my name's Ronald Perring, Pretoria High School, Pretoria Boys High School Old Boy. Currently the head coach of Afrikaanse Word Macy's School Pretoria, and head coach of the under-19 Northern Girls team. In terms of what our Northern's team consists of, we've got 2 schools to choose from, Macy's Word and Girls Eye. Looking at Macy's Word, we've got quite a short history. We started in July of 2023, and the growth has been exponential since then. We've got Girls Eye girls playing, and Girls Eye has been playing for years. They went through a little bit of a slump over the past few years, but they've really come back recently with my sister coaching them, Milan Perring, and Tia Caswell, who's made a few international appearances. So it's about a half split. We've got half of the girls playing for NTS coming from Macy's Word, and half of the girls playing for NTS coming from Girls Eye. So it's a good mix of people, and there's a good vibe in the team, and there are a few girls coming from Easterns and Centrals in our senior sides, especially because we are short of numbers at the moment. But they bring a good depth into the team, which is good to see. And then just in terms of NTS background, so I coached NTS since 2022, I think it was 2022. Started by coaching the boys, and then in 2024 I started coaching the girls. So in 2023 the girls were doing quite well. We had 2 teams where in the years prior to that we didn't have many teams. We didn't have any teams at all. So 2 teams was a good start, and then in 2024 I took over as the head coach of the under-19 girls, and there we had 2 teams again. And now this year we're sending 4 teams, under 13, under 14, and then under 16 and under 19. So now the girls can at least play against girls their own age, because we had under 14s playing against under 15s, and under 16s playing against under 19s a few years ago, which made it very difficult, especially considering the fact that you've got provinces like Centrals and Western Province who've been playing since before grade 7, and now our girls are trying to compete against that. So it's a lot better at the moment, and we've got a lot of growth and development happening. At the moment we're quite excited for IPT. We had a games there on Saturday at Macy's Word, and the senior girls were playing against the Tuck Schools, so the under 16 and under 19 NTS teams were playing against the Tuck Schools, and they really played quite well. It's a massive improvement from last year, and just very excited about what's to come. And then the juniors are also competing, playing training games against Easterns and Centrals, which is great exposure for them, because they haven't really had that much chance to play tournaments. It's still a growing sport in Pretoria, especially for the girls. Obviously the boys have made a massive comeback. It's great to see. So now we're just trying to get the girls to the same level, and yeah, it's really looking good. Excited to see how our performance goes at IPT. Yeah, it's just we've come a long way over the past few years, and the growth is just going to be exponential over the next few years. We've got a lot of coaches who are committed, and players especially that are committed. I mean, going from 2 teams to 4 teams, it's really seen massive growth, and hopefully next year we can already have 5 teams going to Cape Town, or maybe even more, adding B teams in the mix. So yeah, just happy to see where everything's going in Pretoria with the girls water polo, and really proud of the girls and how they have coming to their own in the sport and really love the sport, because that's the most important thing to me personally, is that the girls must love the sport and they should want to play the sport after school. It shouldn't be just a school thing and then they don't have any love for the sport and they give it up after school. So yeah, just giving them the opportunity to actually enjoy the sport and grow and learn with your courses and all the other courses coming through. The girls really have an opportunity to learn and play against the best, especially at IPT. So yeah, excited to see what happens at IPT, and it will be good growth and a massive learning curve for the girls, which they can bring back to their schools and hopefully rank up in years to come. So yeah, that's a bit about us from NTS Girls, and yeah, just excited about the future.
Hi, I'm Milan Pering. I'm the under-13 girls coach for Northern Gauteng Water Polo. And what an exciting time it is for us here at NTS. We're about 2 weeks out from RPT and we are deep in preparations. Yeah, it's been very exciting for us. This is the first time Northern Gauteng has been able to send an under-13 girls team. So it's been quite challenging as well, trying to navigate the water of primary school water polo. But it's been a great journey for us. What we really wanted to focus on this year is building strong foundation, really teaching them the fundamentals. And that was in the passing, body positioning, and really moving with intention in the water. It's been just in the few months that we've been coaching with the girls, we've really seen an improvement, and just that switch turned on for them. Like, oh, I understand this now. So that's been really great. Ultimately, we didn't just want to prepare them for IPT. Most of these girls had never played water polo before. So it was a big learning curve for them coming to NTS and learning all these new things. So we wanted to create well-rounded, smart players, disciplined, that could go into their high schools and to their clubs and whatever, and just be good players, that they could integrate easily into any team. So it's been a really, really nice journey for us, and the girls have really adapted quite well. Like I said, most of them have never played. So seeing the way that they have really grown in confidence in the pool and outside of the pool has been great. And look, historically, NTS has always struggled with numbers when it came to girls water polo. We only ever had one feeding high school, and that was Pretoria High School for girls. So just in the past 2 seasons, with the introduction, with Afrikaans Word Meisie School introducing water polo as a sport, we've really seen a great improvement in numbers, luckily for us, but also just an incredible bond between the schools. The girls absolutely love each other and they love playing together. So that's been really great. And we hope with the primary school girls that they can sort of look at this bond that's been formed between the high schools and sort of aspire to do that as well. A big thing for us at NTS is just community, and we don't want the girls to ever feel, bad about anything. We want them to play together and learn from each other. So that's been a really, really, really important thing for us this year. And one thing we will say is NTS has never struggled with having a strong and supportive community. Like I said, we face our challenges, but the parents and the coaches and the players always work together as a team. So it's been very, very nice to see. And another thing I will say is that a really big highlight for me as a coach this year, in the past few weeks, we've been able to strengthen our connections with our Gauteng counterparts, Central and Eastern Gauteng. So just through friendly matches and continuous communication, there's been a real sense of collaboration and shared purpose there. So that's been really, really awesome for us. Yeah. And just with the under 13s going into IPTs, we really just hope that they can play and learn. We want them to learn from this experience and grow from it. And then next year we can build onto this. So that's all I want to say about the under 13 team. We have some players coming from all different primary schools in Pretoria, Anton van Vo, Garsfontein Law School, all those places. So it's been incredible to see them joining, as essentially as strangers and building this bond together.
Great to hear from those great coaches, and I'm really excited for all these underdog provinces, especially Northerns. Great to see them taking their IPT prep so seriously. And Loaz, any specific age groups you'd like to be watching?
I'm very interested to watch the under 16 boys from Northern Tigers, Dunks. I think they're going to do a lot and they're going to prove themselves quite a lot. So very interested to see how Chris van Vuren is going to do after taking all those skills from the elevator that he was on. And I'm also looking forward to seeing the under 19 Northern Tigers boys as well. I think they'll also be one to watch for sure.
Yeah, and definitely, as the coach has said, there's a step change as well in the ladies' side of things. So great to see. Watch out for Northern Tigers at this year's IPT.
Advice is never simple. Why look before you leap? If he who hesitates is lost. Live within your means is sage advice. But then, why are we encouraged to go big or go home? The value of advice is bound to your unique dreams and circumstances. Context isn't just king, it's the entire kingdom, son.
Welcome back to Elevate Water Polo on 216, and this is the moment many of you have been waiting for. We've had such a busy Term 3 and Term 4, and we took the opportunity this week to acknowledge some of the great teams. We're going to make it exclusively for the under 19A age group, and we're going to focus on them and just acknowledge all those schools and all those players who've been on scintillating form in this very, very busy term of water polo. So, Loaz, let's go in there. So let's start with the boys. The top three schools, according to the Fairtree schools rankings. At the top, Bishops. Congratulations to you and the team, Loaz.
Thank you.
In second place, Kersney. And in third place, Rondebosch, finishing third of the Fairtree rankings for the latest rankings of 2025. So congratulations to those teams. You obviously know them well. Any comments about any of those three that you'd like to add?
I think very deserved, thanks. The Kersney team is very strong. They've been dominating in the Durban district for the last 2 years now. So really great from Nicholas Rudder and his troopers to get into the top two there. Rondebosch always threatening. I think it's also very important to note that, they didn't have a team of many matrics. I think they were led by about 2 or 3 matrics. So the fact that they're there with such a young team just shows how dangerous those youngsters are. So I'm very excited to see them in the future. I think next year, around about Stayers time, is where they're really going to shine, and a lot of teams are going to have to really watch them closely. And yeah, very happy. Obviously, the Bishops, very close to my heart. The boys have been working extremely hard to really stamp their authority on the water polo mark, and I think they've done a really good job this year. They've been extremely consistent, always working hard. So well done to Jabulani Sibia on that side as well for an excellent year of water polo at Bishops.
Absolutely, and Rondebosch was surrounding off a very good year, winning the SAC Shield, the St Andrews Shield early in the year, and then having a good showing at the Invitational as well, the Saints Invitational. Then a few weeks ago we announced this, but I think it's worthy of another mention: the co-ed championship, which was held at Pearson High School in Gqeberha. Do you want to take us through the winners there?
Absolutely, Dang. So Woodridge won that. They made history and they won it for the first time ever. So congratulations to them. Absolutely amazing. For such a small school to win a co-ed tournament like that is absolutely phenomenal. So congratulations to Nathan Ward and his boys over there. And then we had Pearson, was also obviously dominating the space in that co-ed space, which was really awesome to see. And Glenwood House as well, another small school doing such good work over there. So really, congratulations to all those coaches. I know Delane must be really happy with her boys and her efforts there at Pearson and Glenwood. That's a really great effort for them to sneak into the top 3. So yeah, very, very keen to hopefully see these guys come through in major tournaments. We want to see them coming up at your, your more St. Stithians tournaments and climbing up the rankings there. So very excited to see what these guys can do in the future.
Absolutely. And then for the next part of the awards, we looked at the rankings from the 2025 end of year rankings, the 2024 end of year rankings, and the 2023 end of year rankings. So really looking for consistency. You always mention and reference, the teams that lose their matrics at a certain point in the season. So what we tried to look for here is the consistency that's been shown. So there's 3 schools who've managed to consistently over the last 3 years been in the top 10, and those I think deserve a mention as well. So some of the usual suspects as well there. St. John's College, congratulations, one of the 3 teams that have been in the top 10 for the last 3 years in succession. St. Stithians also from Johannesburg, and then Rondebosch Boys finishing there as well. So, I mean, as you look at a program, obviously consistency is what every program wants. Not always easy to do, Luaz.
Exactly, Danks. I think it also shows the strength of Gauteng as a province as well. Like we see them consistently, in the junior competitions, they might have a few years where they're not so strong, but then they really catch up well, especially against those Cape schools. So I think it's very well deserved that those 2 are in the most consistent age group categories. And then Rondebosch as well, always being so dominant over the last couple of years, really producing some star players. So yeah, I think this list definitely makes sense to me. I don't think there's a team that should be here in place of another. I think these guys have been consistent for many years now. So congratulations to them.
Absolutely. And then what we looked at as well is we looked at the biggest improvements year on year. So there's going to be some names in here. So we tracked between 2025 end of year rankings and 2024 end of year rankings, and 2 names stuck out as the biggest climbers this year. So we want to acknowledge firstly St. Andrews for climbing up a massive 12 spots in 2025. I think that's a phenomenal effort for Grant McKenzie and his team down at St. Andrews. And Hilton, an equally or almost equally impressive 7-point climb in the rankings.
Sure.
So really, phenomenal growth there, and well done to both those coaches and both those programs. Obviously, Paul Martin moving to Hilton this year, which has been nice to see, and Grant McKenzie been building this St. Andrews program for some years.
Exactly. I think something key to note as well is obviously these are 2 areas or 2 schools that are so isolated from competition. So it's really hard for them to get game time and play against other schools regularly in preparation for competition. So it's even more impressive to see them climb up the ranks knowing how isolated they are. So it's a really good job from Mackenzie and from Paul Martin as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Well done to those guys. And then the Newcomer of the Year award goes to Woodridge, who were not anywhere to be seen in the top 30, and they came and burst onto the scenes. I think they were in the mid-teens by the end of the year. So a big shout out to Woodridge, and you mentioned them earlier for winning the co-ed tournament, and great to see the program developing. We look forward to seeing you guys keep going. Loaz, do you want to take us through the girls' top 3?
Absolutely, Dags. Got a big smile on my face because my alma mater, St. Stithians, end of the year number 1. So well done to Meg Celino and Jay Celino as well. I think they've done a great job with continuing that succession of the St. Stithians team and pushing them to that number 1 spot. We have Rodine as well, have come second. They've also done such a good job with their program. Sia Guzana has really pushed those girls really hard, and it was evident when you looked at the results from the various competitions. There was always like an interchange of the teams, and it was never the same people dominating the winners category. So that's awesome to see that Rodine, again, 2 Joburg powerhouses that we know of very well. And then we've got the local Herschel, who have finished in 3rd. So very strong, very traditional girls' school here in Cape Town. So well done to Alex Hawkins as well. I think he also deserves a lot of mention because he's always consistently in that top 3, top 4 space. So well done to him.
Yeah, and let's, using the consistency, taking your lead there, there's been the top 5 has been almost unchanged for the last 3 years, which is really credit to those programs. They really do have that consistency. You mentioned Alex. So the top 5 consistent teams over the last 3 years is Herschel, Rodine, Redham Constantia, and St. Stithians. Those are the teams that have stayed in the top 5 for 3 consecutive years, which is really like amazing performances from all of them.
Exactly. Like it's hard. I don't see anyone really knocking them down from that pedestal as well, Dunks. I think they consistently run strong programs year after year. They have great juniors that come up. They have good coaches that are coming up as well. So I think they're going to be there for a while. I think it's going to take a lot to knock one of those teams out of the top 5 spot.
And going on that, what advice would you give to other schools who are saying, that these 4 teams that are kind of impenetrable at the top of the rankings? What would you suggest? You mentioned junior programs. I think consistency of coaches is something that springs to my mind. Any advice you'd have for someone who's trying to break into that top 5?
I think, thanks for me, if you just push and work your juniors well and really work on those basics, those fundamentals, so that when they get to those senior levels, it's not like you're reteaching them these new things. They're already embedded in them, that it's ingrained. And I think that's what we're seeing now with like Durban Girls College, who are working really hard on their program, their juniors. I think it was the under 15s won their own tournaments recently. They obviously won the Mackenzie Cup as well. So they're doing such a good job of showing that they have growth and sustainability from junior to senior. So I think if they keep going that trajectory, we might see them in the top 5. St. Anne's as well, also building up a great program there with their juniors into their seniors. So we might start seeing some Durban schools there. So I think, as I said, work on the juniors, make sure that their fundamentals and their basics are up to scratch, and then you'll see more consistency in your senior phase.
Well, Lwazi Mari's predicted it next year. Let's look out for some Durban teams in that top 5 of the ladies section. Going back to the co-ed tournament, congratulations to Redham House Bedford View. Malcolm Ackerman and his team ended up top of the co-ed tournament this year, held at Pearson. Kingswood in second place, and then the host Pearson in third. So congratulations to Delane and to the team at Kingswood as well. To Carl, well done for finishing in a very credible second position in the co-ed rankings for this year. Again, we looked at the biggest improvements, and this year, Polo College in Gauteng have jumped a massive 12 spots. So big congratulations to them. They've obviously been working really hard, and they're seeing the fruits of their labor there. Woodridge ladies also jumped a massive 9 spots, and Danville from KZN up 8 spots. So some really good climbing there. Well done, guys. We see what you're doing. We acknowledge you for the effort that you're putting in. And then a newcomer to the rankings, Glenwood House, made a massive jump from out of the top 30 right into the top 30 this year. So Glenwood House, congrats to them. And you obviously know some players there, some of the BSc ladies, Mia Gibson and others coming through strong.
Exactly, Danks. I think Mia Gibson has been such a strong player for that Glenwood House for a while now. She was one of our stronger players at BSc as well. So I'm very interested to see. As I said, I want to start seeing these newer teams start coming up into the bigger competitions, seeing how they hold their own against some of the stronger teams. But it's really exciting to see so many new schools jumping up so many high places. It really shows that water polo is picking up in the country.
Yeah, absolutely. So big congrats to all those schools. I think it's fitting that we acknowledge the schools rather than the players first. We'll get onto the individual awards in a moment. But yeah, just a huge shout out to all those schools who've and we're going to display all of them on the screen so you can have record of the list. But yeah, great programs, great coaches. And I really feel, Lwaz, that things are coming together for South African water polo. I don't know if you have the same feeling. You're seeing such a broad diversity of schools programs, all doing well, all improving. You just look at the number of climbers. It's just a positive picture, isn't it?
It is, thanks. And I think one of the things that we also need to be thinking about when we look at all these new exciting schools that are coming up is the coaching is getting so much more smarter. A lot of coaches are getting more wise on how they can utilize the rules to their advantage when they coach, and the players are starting to get smarter. They understand how to creep into space, how to avoid offsides, all those things. So it's really great to see that the players are thinking smarter, and it makes the game flow quicker, and we're just seeing some exciting water polo.
Amazing. Well done to all those teams. That wraps it up for the team awards for this segment. We'll be back after a short break.
Advice is never simple. Why look before you leap? If he who hesitates is lost, live within your means is sage advice. But then, why are we encouraged to go big or go home? The value of advice is bound to your unique dreams and circumstances. Context isn't just king, it's the entire kingdom, son.
Welcome back to Elevate Water Polo on SuperSport Schools, brought to you by Odin and Momentum. So proud to talk about some individual awards. We've done the team awards. We've acknowledged the schools who are doing great things. But now let's pay attention to the individual athletes who are doing such great work, Loaz. So let's start off with the ladies. We've basically featured Term 3 and Term 4 big tournaments for the under-19 section, and I think there's a lot of players who've done exceptionally well, and they deserve our recognition. So do you want to take us away with the Saints Invitational?
Absolutely, Dang. So best attacker went to Kayla Masetla. Yeah, she had such a great tournament at Stayers. She was honestly so lethal on attack. She really looked to turn the players. It was really nice because we saw a lot of growth from her when she came to us at the on the Elevate tour in Spain, and she had such a great tournament there. So she really showed that she was learning and understanding the skills, and it really showed when she was playing. She played with so much confidence and grace. So well done to her.
Yeah, I'd love to jump in there. You know,
Yes.
Kate, if you look back, she's one of those players who has a she has a affinity for the big moments. I remember back to IPT last year, 2024, in the final when Western Province had a powerhouse team, and they were just struggling to break through, were dominating possession and in the first two quarters, and then things just changed, and Gauteng just took control, and Kate was very much part of that. So yeah, she seems to really enjoy the big moments, and yeah, great to see her on top of the awards there.
Absolutely, thanks. Great player. Very excited to see what she does in her matric year next year. I think she's going to cause a lot of defenses some headaches going forward. So yeah, very excited to see her at IPTs as well this year. And then the best defender went to Inez Lechert. So also another standout player. She's got so much confidence about her. She's so strong at the back and is not afraid to push those counter attacks as well. Such an important player for Cameron Veed and that St. Anne's team. So well done to her. Then the best goalkeeper, we have Ngali from St. Stithians, Ngali Metu. Yeah, she had a fantastic stairs. I think both keepers from St. Stithians just deserve a round of applause for their consistency. They were incredible throughout, and she really kept them in the game when they were in that final. So she was a standout player for them at Brian Baker, and she's a standout player for them now. So well done to her.
Amazing. Yeah, our friends at Bupa in Spain always tell us that a good goalkeeper is 50% of your team, but a poor goalkeeper is 80% of your team. So, as you say, goalkeepers make such a big difference, and it's obviously one of the keys to St. Stithians' success, right?
Exactly,
It's how
Dunks.
she's played, and yeah.
100% Dunks. I think when you just look at like the presence in those tighter games, when you've got a keeper who's been psychologically in your head the entire game, it just makes it so difficult to break out of that, especially during the high pressure moments like penalty shootouts. I mean, St. Stithians went into that St. Anne's tournament and it was like a penalty shootout, I think in their semis, and she was vital to them getting through. And so yeah, she deserves absolutely all the praise, and Gabo's not far behind her as well. So very excited to see how both these keepers fare in the new year.
Nice one, amazing. And then the Mackenzie Cup was held down at Redham House Constantia in September. And there we had the best attacker was Kayla Andrews from DGC. Kayla's also been having a very impressive last couple of years. I saw her, I think probably KZN probably had by their own standards had a disappointing IPT last year, but Kayla was definitely one of the standout players. Really, really strong on the ball, very physical, and a really good player. So I was thrilled to see her there acknowledged for best attacker at that tournament. Inga Saudi, also another one from DGC, who's been playing really well. Her name just keeps turning up on our radar as a really quality player. Her and her sister both are really putting in the efforts, and great to see her there. And then another goalkeeper who we know well, Hannah Weinert. Great to see her on getting that award and getting acknowledged for her play. And then Julia Lukov from Redham House Constantia. She's been outstanding. I think she's been one of the standout players. I'm sure you've seen her quite a bit.
Yes, I have, Dang. She's such a great defensive player. Again, also one of those that's just not scared to go on the attack as well. I think that's something you need, someone with confidence, something who's going to give you something on the other side when you go to attack, not just on defense. And she's definitely one of those players. I'm very excited to see how she's going to do at IPTs this year. I think the province team is going to be really strong and well coached by Connor Whiting, sorry. And yeah, it's just going to be great to see her in her final year.
Absolutely amazing. And then the one of the key tournaments for the ladies side of things, the under 19A tournament, was St. Anne's tournament. And there we had, what I love about this is we have, such a diversity of names. There's all new names here, so it's really nice to see that there's so many ladies really playing well, pushing for tournament teams, pushing for individual awards. So why don't you take us through the St. Anne's individual awards from that tournament?
Absolutely, Dan. So we have Hannah Savage from St. Anne's. She was the best attacker. Congratulations to her. We have Isabella Imbroglio, who was the best defender from St. Stithians. We also have the best goalkeeper, which is Lucy Davis from Kingsmead College. Very great keeper. She's quite experienced as well. She obviously has been playing for South Africa very recently in the women's team. So no surprise that she's been doing so well and fully deserving the goalkeeper of the tournament. And then the MVP, we have Daniela Sassenberg from St. Stithians as well. So we have a lot of St. Stithians players coming through in these tournament team things. And I mean, it's no surprise they've been in the top 5, as we spoke about previously, over the last 3 years. So no surprise to see all these Saints names on these tournament teams.
Yeah, and probably a special shout out there to Lucy Davis. She's Kingsmead have been a team that haven't been in the top 5, fighting for the top 10. And she's just been a standout performer. It's in a defense which is I guess they're in a building phase at Kingsmead, but Lucy stands up and leads from the front. I know she's been head girl of the school, so I think great to see her there. Getting acknowledged, despite the team not being quite one of the best teams in the country at the moment. And then Isabella Imbroglio, it's a family affair. Her brother Luca is doing great things in the US. He's playing really, really good polo. I saw some clips earlier today about how he's playing this weekend in their conference playoffs. So yeah, it's great to see the families contributing to this game of ours.
Exactly, Danks. Speaking of Luca as well, so obviously the polo gene runs strong. I know that Isabella just signed for Concordia University in the States, which is in California. And her brother is obviously playing at CBU in California as well. And they just ended up beating, I think it was Pacific University, which is a big result for them. And they're on to the finals of their conference. So if they win that, they go play in the higher leagues, and they won it last year as well. So he was one of the big reasons defensively. He blocked, I think, 3 man-ups in a row, which saved them. So yeah, they're doing really well there. So I'm very interested to see how Isabella's going to do at IPTs and when she goes over to the States.
Yeah, great to see. We covered, pathways previously, and just great to see those pathways available. I know Lucy Davis is talking to Marty's University down here in Stellenbosch for a placement next year. So it's just great to see water polo people, having opportunities to continue playing at institutions both locally and abroad. Great to see those pathways are alive and well, and people have options and can continue playing the sport, which is most important to us.
Yeah, exactly, Dangs. I remember it was so hard back in the day to find these opportunities to go overseas or to play in the States. So it's really great to see that there's so many more of these options popping up. Kids have the options to go play in Europe overseas. They have options to go to the States. I think like when I was growing up, there wasn't really much of that presence or the opportunities, or it was also really difficult to get your name across there. So it's really great to see that so many South Africans are getting their recognition and they're getting the opportunity to study under a discounted fees at these international universities, or get to even play at like some very high club levels. So very exciting to see these players pushing themselves.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. So let's look over to the boys' side of things. So we highlighted some of the key individual awards from Term 3 and Term 4. Obviously, the Sachs tournament, which has been running, I think we established since the late 70s. Or early 80s. One of the key tournaments, such an exciting format, quite hair-raising as a coach to kind of, the short chuckers go by very quickly. So let's acknowledge the guys who did well. Their best attacker was Nick Searle from St. John's, who had just an amazing final. I mean, in your career, Loaz, I know you've had many great finals, but the confidence that you get from being able to stand up in those key moments, and Nick Searle had an absolutely superb Sachs final. Would you agree?
I couldn't agree more, Dunks. He fully deserves this. He's been an absolute menace for defenses. You never know how to really mark this guy. He's like a Tristan Ace. He can play on the 2 meter. He's obviously stronger on the top position on the perimeter. I think he scored something like 10 goals in that final, which just shows a lot. And he was just always looking to get fed the ball and in that competition, that's the type of player you need. Someone who wants to get the ball, someone who wants to score for his team, provide assists, and yeah, he fully deserves that Best Attacker award.
Absolutely. And, best defender was given to Cooper Hayworth from St. David's, and we talked a little bit about that at the time. Such a good tournament from them. And I think Cooper was, in the quarters and in the semi, and then he had a good final as well. But I think he was part of the reason that they got through to the final, St. David's. He had such a good quarter, such a good semi, and a massive performance from Cooper Hayworth there for St. David's. And then his goalkeeping partner, Dylan Wiggle. You obviously know Dylan well. Also an amazing tournament. He's had a superb term 3 and term 4.
Absolutely, Dangs. Obviously being called up not last minute, but called up a while ago before our trip to Spain. He was exceptional for us as part of Elevate in that Spanish tour. So I'm really glad to see that he's performing well and getting the recognition. He works so hard. He's got an Instagram page where he just posts his workouts. He has such great fundamentals. So I'm really glad to see that Dylan's getting the recognition for all his hard work.
Absolutely. So then a bit more recently, we had the St. Stithians Invitational, and best attacker there goes to Ben Begara from Sax. So great to see Ben. He's had he's a workhorse. He's had he's really come on strong this term 3 and 4. I think in term 1, we always knew he's a great solid player, but I think he's stepped it up. Would you agree?
Big time. That Tour de Spain really, I think, woke up something in Ben. I think for a while, he's obviously had a big name to live up to with his brother, but he's really coming into his own and showing that, he has his own way of playing and his own style. And when you watch him, it's just a beauty to watch. He's so quick and dynamic. His acceleration, his agility to just change direction, look for the ball, always putting players under pressure. So yeah, Ben fully deserves his Best Attacker award. He was exceptional for Sax.
Yeah, very good. And then the best defender was Tim Young from Bishops. Also had a massive year. Tim has been so impressive throughout the first term for Bishops in the S Under-20 program in Croatia. He had a great trip to Spain with us with the Next Generation Cup, and then he's finished off a great year in term 3 and term 4, thoroughly deserving his best defender award. And then best goalkeeper Mike Mafunda, equally so. He's been huge. I think I remember back to some of the games in the Sax Knight series in term 1. And Mike was the difference in many of those games between a strong opposition and the Bishops team just keeping the defense up and keeping the other team out. So huge congratulations to those guys, not only for a great tournament, but I think for a great year as well.
Yeah, Dangs, I agree. It's scary to think that these guys are in grade 11 because it feels like they've been in the system forever. Both gone to the first team in grade 9 and have just continued to climb up the rankings. It's great to see Mikey performing so well. I think he was thoroughly deserving of this best goalkeeper. I think he often misses out on these big awards, so he really deserves this best goalkeeper, and that's only going to do the world of confidence for his IPT prep. And Tim, exactly as you said, fully deserving of his best defender. I think he's been the best defender in all the competitions that had tournament teams. And it just shows he's so strong off the ball. He works hard. He's very quick off the counter attacks, and he's got a rocket of a shot. So well done to Tim on an excellent Stayers tournament and just an excellent 2025 year.
Absolutely. And just before we finish off, we're going to look back to March when we had the KES tournament. I think these guys deserve credit as well if we're going to be looking at awards for the year. Firstly, best goalkeeper, Luango Ntlantla from Hilton. He was just exceptional. I remember I saw him at IPT last year for the first time, and I was impressed. But I think at the KES tournament, he was just massive. He was outstanding in goals for Hilton there. Best defender again, Tim Young, again, as we've been saying, just a solid season and really growing from strength to strength. And then acknowledgement as well for Matt Fenn, who was the top goal scorer at the KES tournament. I think Matt, he scored 24 goals in that tournament, which is huge. And he's continued to perform. I mean, he's top goal scorer in just about all the competitions that he's played in this year. So Matt's had a massive year, and really proud of what he's achieved. And then last but not least, the MVP of the KES tournament was Tristan Ace, Ubi Ace from Hilton. Also had a big year. We're going to, unfortunately, I think, miss him at IPT this year, but acknowledge to him and well done on a great year. So wrapping up, Lars, individual awards, what a great bunch of youngsters we've got the privilege of watching.
Absolutely, Danks. They've really put their hands up for their schools and for whatever team that they play for. So it's really great to see them pushing themselves really hard. It's also great to see them getting involved in like senior competitions. Like we saw Tim and Matt playing at the Cape Town Invitational, saw Nick Searle playing for Gauteng under 19s. So yeah, just all in all, just great to see these guys wanting to take the next step and playing in men's level as well, and showing that they can hold their own in that space as well.
That's the wrap for the individual awards. We'll see you again shortly.
Advice is never simple. Why look before you leap? If he who hesitates is lost. Live within your means is sage advice. But then, why are we encouraged to go big or go home? The value of advice is bound to your unique dreams and circumstances. Context isn't just king, it's the entire kingdom, son.
Welcome back to Elevate Water Polo on 216, brought to you by SuperSport Schools and our generous sponsors Odin and Momentum. We're going to talk in this segment around a very exciting first for the polo scene locally. We're going to the Nordic League tournament, which is a tournament which involves 38 countries, 38 teams from 27 countries rather, and a really exciting opportunity for us to give our guys and girls who finished finished school, maybe still at varsity, but needing some additional development between then and senior national things. So your thoughts on the Nordic League?
I think it's such a great initiative, Dax. I think when I look at my first introduction into that senior international period, it really felt like a baptism of fire. I felt like I had no real medium in between. It was just straight into it. Here you go, sink or swim kind of moment. So I think this is a great way for the guys to really push themselves and also have competition that's going to test them. I think they are capable of obviously pulling off some great performances, but it also is good to put them in situations where they can ease into that senior phase. I think it's such a crucial phase, as you said, to really get the best out of those kids in that age group category. And I think there's going to be a great tour for them, a great learning experience as well.
Absolutely. Well, we're hoping so. So the men leave this coming week and head off, and they're going to be playing in Portugal and Lisbon against Cheltenham from the UK, against STT Copenhagen from Denmark, and against the host Sporting Club de Portugal from Lisbon themselves. So we caught up with a lot of the players at the camp and some of the coaches to hear their thoughts ahead of this exciting opportunity.
Hi there, I'm Sam Hansen, captain of the Elevate Under 23 side going to the Nordic League.
Hi, I'm Mark Mansveld. I'm a centre forward in the Nordic League Elevate team.
What excites me about this competition, it's a new challenge for us, a different format from what we're used to competing at an international level. We've been preparing for over 8 months now, so 3 days left, really confident in our preparation, and we're not going there just to take part. Hopefully we can come home top of the table and qualify for the next round.
I'm really excited for the Nordic League tour. We are going to watch a Champions League football match while we're over there, which I think is going to be really cool. And I'm really excited to play the polo over there and see what they have to offer.
Hi, my name is Megan Salino. I'm currently the first team water polo coach at the Girls College for St. Stithians. We've had a great season so far, having started in January this year. The team's come along nicely and we're sitting top of the log, having come off the St. Stithians Invitational Tournament in first place. I'm going to be coaching the Under-23 Elevate Ladies team that is going to take part in the Nordic League coming up in March and May for next year. The girls are looking strong and hopefully we can get some good traction going with this group as we bridge the gap between Under-20 and senior ladies.
My name is Hannah Veria and I'm the goalkeeper for the Club Warriors in Cape Town. And I'm playing for the Under-23 Elevate side, ladies side. We are taking part in the Nordic League as an Under-23 side, which is pretty cool because we are trying to bridge the gap between the Next Gen Cup and the senior ladies and men's team. So there's some cool stuff going on in the Under-23 side. We have a squad of girls together that are all training together this weekend in Cape Town. Swim test trials, and looking very forward to Manchester in March next year, and then hopefully Tenerife in June next year. So yeah, cool stuff happening for the Under-23s.
How's it? My name's Matthew Hayes. I'm fortunate enough to be part of this under-23 side going to Portugal. Went to Hilton College and matriculated in 2023. And yeah, I'm super excited to be able to experience the level of polo over there in Portugal. I was also fortunate enough to go to Barcelona last year, so this is my second Elevate trip. And yeah, just the exposure you get from playing with these players that are just at another level of training and so on. But yeah.
So great to get interviews with all those exciting athletes and coaches. We wish them well and really excited to see how they do as they travel off to Portugal this week. We're going to do a montage of all the submissions from all the best goals from this season. There's been so many, and we decided we wanted to show every single person who submitted and some more. So look out for these great goals and great saves, which have been characterizing this end of year season.
He's now in a dangerous position. Fires off a shot off the bottom right post.
Here's the lob attempt. Oh! He can't believe it himself. Roland's.
Shot off the top and a post and in finish, a rocket.
His day and rugby player. So good work here by the centre forward, and can she score? She does. Has
It's dangerous. They can't give away a foul. Oh, a minor foul here. Ben's going to look to take one. There it is! And he weaves it! And he finds the back of the net. Curling it in. And what an end to a game. Let's have a look at the replay. There it is. There from Matthew Faith. That's as good as it gets.
This weekend. He's been doing very well there, and he continues his form with an excellent finish. Bit of a screamer, that goal. Definitely going to end up on the highlights reel.
It's not giving. What a steal there from Cole. Uses his foot, flicks it over his player. Can he finish his supper? You bet he can. He finishes it with the lob. What a goal! Finishes that goal.
Matt Penn looking for the foul on the top of the knee. Good defensive work, but eventually
Make it rain, young. A huge shot, and great save for Adam.
Good shot and a great save there from Gavin Painter, making himself big. He's had a really good game. That's really great saves. And another one!
Akelo is putting himself back in this game as Price stands on the end. B! What a save, Liam.
Not Jeffrey. David. Oh, has a crack. And it's over. What a steal by the number 3.
Like taking candy for a baby as Medley.
Yes!
Right, Mikey!
Sure, what an epic montage of goals, thanks. I mean, sure, even as a keeper myself, I don't know how some of these keepers deal with these players. Sure, they're so impressive with the way that they can shoot and beat the blocker. With that being said, my Odin School of the Week goes to the Afrikaanse Macy's Hoër School in Pretoria. It's really exciting to see their water polo program starting to pick up. So congratulations.
Hello to all our Elevate on 216 viewers. I'm very excited about this week's momentum moment of the week. It goes to the Border Under 15A boys. This past weekend, Border played NMB in some warm-up fixtures for IPT next weekend, and the Border Under 15A boys beat the NMB Under 16A boys 8-4. According to coach Luke Sibbett, a big standout player for that game was their goalkeeper Gabriel Pierce. He shut down the momentum of the Under 16A NMB boys and helped his team claim this massive victory in their preparation games. Good luck to the Border boys, to the NMB boys, to all the teams preparing for IPT. A massive well done to Gabriel and his team, and good luck to Coach Sibbett and all the coaches out there preparing for next week. We wish you all well, and we can't wait to see what is still in store. Thank you.
Lawaz, what an incredible show. So much content. It's been an absolute thrill to be here with you. And yeah, well done to all those people who've been acknowledged. Good luck for everyone coming up with the IPT, with USA, and with the Nordic League. So much exciting in the next few episodes. So thanks, Lawaz. I've enjoyed being with you.
Always a pleasure, Dance. Great to be back again. And yeah, looking forward to next week.
We'll see you then.